When things begin to fall apart, it's rarely in one explosive moment. More often it happens slowly, quietly, piece by piece. Little signs collect, pressing down on you until you can't ignore them anymore. That night, I sat waiting for Samantha to come home. Midnight slipped past along with my patience. She had gone out with friends, claiming she needed space. But when the door finally creaked open and I saw her, my chest tightened. She looked like she'd been dragged through chaos. Her hair messy, clothes wrinkled and pulled out of place. Then I noticed something worse. Faint dampness on her thighs. Froze. The air around her carried a scent that wasn't hers, wasn't mine, but another man's cologne. A stranger's. I said nothing. Instead, I helped her to bed, cleaning her up in silence, forcing down the dread clawing at me. "What happened, Sam?" I whispered, my voice shaking. Her eyes were glassy, unfocused. She wouldn't fully meet mine. "It didn't mean anything. Just once." "I'm sorry," she muttered, her words heavy with alcohol. Those words hit harder than any scream ever could. Sorry for what? I wanted to demand. But I didn't. Not while she was in that state. I swallowed the fury, the heartbreak, the questions. I tucked her in and stepped out of the room, barely able to breathe. A part of me clung to the hope that I'd misunderstood. But deep down I already knew. Something had happened, something that couldn't be undone. By morning, when the alcohol faded, I knew I had to face the truth. I hadn't slept. My mind replayed every detail. Her words, the scent, the look in her eyes. I sat at the kitchen table with photos spread before me, each one a silent accusation. Samantha appeared slowly, still wearing the same rumpled clothes. Her eyes were red, heavy with guilt. She froze the second she saw the pictures I'd taken. Not to shame her, but because I needed proof, something real when my thoughts felt like a nightmare. Stains on her clothes, a faint handprint near her waist. Evidence I didn't want to see, but couldn't deny. "Do you even remember last night?" asked, voice low and breaking. Her face collapsed, and she crumbled to the floor in tears. "I'm sorry. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen." "A mistake," I repeated sharply. "You didn't just trip into this. You made a choice. You went to that bar, you drank, and you let someone else touch you." She tried to blame the alcohol, to say she wasn't thinking straight, but her excuses felt empty, meant more for her own relief than for me. That realization shattered me worse than anything. "I need air," I muttered, standing. I couldn't bear watching her cry for herself. I walked out, leaving her with the destruction she caused. You don't just sweep something like this away. Not when trust is broken. Not when your world feels like it's collapsing under you. Still the questions clawed back. Who was he? Why her? And how long? Her confession was messy, but one name slipped out. Adam. That was enough. With social media, it didn't take long to find him. Adam was exactly what I expected. Clean-cut, smooth-talking, the kind who could charm his way through anything. What struck me harder was realizing he wasn't a stranger. Samantha followed him. He followed her. This wasn't a random slip. It was a connection. And then came the part that twisted my gut. Adam was married. Not just married. He had kids. His profile was a showcase of happy family life. Vacations, birthdays, barbecues, warm mornings. He looked like he had it all. But then again, so did I. Till now. The more I looked, the clearer it became. This wasn't accidental. It was planned. I needed the whole truth, even if it broke me. So when she was asleep, I went through her phone. I told myself it was for closure, but really, it was desperation. The texts were short, casual, but damning. Adam knew she'd be at the bar. Their messages were playful, suggestive. He went because she would be there. This wasn't coincidence. It was arranged. My hands shook as I read. They didn't need to spell everything out. I saw enough. This wasn't a drunken slip. It was calculated. They both knew exactly what they were doing. That's when I decided. Adam's wife deserved to know. She had a right to the truth just like I did. The divorce with Samantha was already moving forward, But I couldn't let another person live in the dark. I had his name. I had the evidence. And now I had a plan. This wasn't revenge. It was the right thing. Some might say it wasn't my place, but I didn't see it that way. She had every right to know. I reached out to Adam's wife, Charlotte, with a carefully written message, asking if we could meet. She replied the same day. We agreed on a quiet cafe downtown, a neutral place where emotions wouldn't spiral. When I arrived, Charlotte was already waiting. When I arrived, she was seated alone at a small table. There was a quiet dignity about her. Dark hair tied back, dressed modestly, but beneath it a nervous energy lingered. She looked unsettled, yet greeted me with warmth. The moment she spoke Adam's name, I caught the fondness in her eyes, which made my next words harder. I didn't soften them. I told her plainly. Her husband had been having an affair with my wife. Her smile vanished at once. Her hand shook as she set her cup down. She stared at me, frozen, as though her mind refused to register what I'd just said. Then I placed the proof before her. Screenshots of their chats, photos from that night, even a recorded confession where Samantha had spoken his name. She examined each piece silently, her face paling with every detail. Tears welled, but she refused to let them fall. Not yet. She sat still, her body stiff, trying to process the blow. When she finally spoke, her voice was unsteady but firm. She thanked me for the truth. I nodded and rose to leave. There was nothing more to say. Whatever came next between her and Adam was theirs to confront. As I walked away, emotions churned inside me. Rage, release, guilt. But I knew my path now. My focus had to shift to reclaiming my life, starting by letting go of what little remained of my marriage. Back at home, everything felt altered. The house no longer resembled home. Samantha moved through the rooms like a ghost, her guilt weighing on every word, every glance. She tried desperately to repair what she had broken. Tears, please, promises. She said she'd seek counseling, do anything to fix us. Please don't give up on us, she whispered again and again. She left notes tucked into my coat, on my pillow, words scribbled like prayers. I love you, I'll never hurt you again. First I read them. Then I stopped. She cooked my favorite meals each night, pretending we could recover normalcy, but I couldn't sit across from her and pretend nothing had happened. A part of me longed to believe her, to forgive, to salvage what we'd built. But every time I looked at her I saw someone else. The betrayal struck like a blade to the gut. The respect, the trust, they were gone. One night she found me in the living room, face swollen from crying. Her voice cracked as she called my name. Please, Brad, I love you. I'll do anything to fix this. I looked at her fully and answered calmly. I don't think so. She collapsed, sobbing, her body trembling as if breaking under the weight of her own choices. 4 days afterward, silence filled the house. No yelling, no begging, just the heavy quiet that follows ruin. I once thought counseling might offer clarity, but I already knew. Some wounds never close. In those muted days, I prepared for what came next. I sorted documents, finalized accounts, packed away fragments of our life. I revisited memories, laughter, fights, searching for something worth keeping. But it wasn't enough. One morning I found her on the living room floor, staring blankly at the carpet. Her eyes were red, her body drained. I held the divorce papers, hesitating not out of doubt, but because I knew the weight of the choice. You made your decision that night, I said evenly. This is mine. I placed the papers before her. She stiffened, hands trembling as she reached. Brad, no. Please, she begged, her voice breaking. We can fix this. I'll do anything. She dropped to her knees, clutching my hand as if it was her lifeline. But I knew it was over. I pulled my hand away gently. I can't, I whispered. I've tried, Sam. I really have. But I can't see you the same anymore. I can't see us the same. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. The finality filled the room. I turned and walked away, leaving her sobbing on the floor. As I stepped out, a strange calm swept through me. There was grief, yes, but also relief. For the first time in a long time I could breathe. This wasn't the ending I had hoped for, but it was the one I needed. Some betrayals cut too deep to heal, and hers was one of them. It's strange how something that once meant everything can end in such emptiness. Yet that became my truth. I left the marriage alone but free. At first, I couldn't even sleep in our bedroom. Her scent lingered, dragging back memories. I stayed on the couch instead. Slowly things shifted. My focus turned from what I'd lost to what I could build. I bought new furniture, rearranged the rooms, repainted the walls. It wasn't just about changing the space, it was a declaration. This is mine now. I wasn't only rebuilding a house. I was rebuilding myself. The cracks remained, the scars still there. But time dulled the ache, and in its place, something new emerged, peace. I don't know what became of Samantha. After signing the papers, we stopped speaking. I heard whispers that her life was difficult. Perhaps that's how it should be. They say time heals all wounds. Disagree. Time doesn't erase pain. It simply teaches you how to live with it. For me, healing meant embracing solitude. I'd rather hold on to quiet peace than stay bound to betrayal. As for Samantha, I hope she learns to live with her choices. Not for me, but for herself. In the end, we both lost something. I lost the woman I thought I knew. She lost the life we built. The difference is, I found something in return. Found myself. And that made every painful step worth it.